November 9th, 2019, 2 days from 9/11, 2 days from a moment that changed everyone's lives, and in the blink of an eye, really, and cost 3,000 lives, estimated at that, to bring in something that we've never seen before in modern history, to bring in a new wave of a surveillance state that, if you listen to my channel enough, I'm definitely huge critical of. I talk about it more often than I probably should, but I do because it's so important. Because it really changes the aspect of who we are, today and in the past and going towards the future. And how we got here. How did we get here to a point where everything is recorded and monitored and constantly videoed and spied on? It seems like everywhere you go, there's no such thing as privacy anymore. Not even in your own bathroom. Not even in a bathroom. And why? It's because we have these pocket surveillance tools that are constantly monitoring our every move, every action, and everything we purchase, everyone we talk to, everything we interact with in the world. It's extremely sophisticated to the point where it's addicting to have. You can watch old James Bond movies, old spy movies, even some comedy spy shows, things like that, where they used to have bugs planted underneath a table, like, you know what I'm talking about, the microphone bugs, the mini microphone bugs, little camera bugs, what have you, planted all over the tables, underneath lampshades, really, out of the way, hidden in plain sight things that you would never notice unless you really look for it. And then, imagine finding one in your house, how pissed off you get that someone's listening to you live action and watching you constantly without your acknowledgement, without your approval, without your will. See, this is what's happening now in a very modern day sense because we have these systems all around us all the time. It's everywhere where you drive, where you eat, where you sleep, where you shit. It's all over the place. And it's not a joke anymore. It's so real, in fact, that before I did this podcast, I just, so today there was some surveillance news. I'm going to get there. I'm really going to make this one strictly about the surveillance state. And just prime examples for skeptics out there that still don't think it's as big as, everyone makes it out to be. Trust me, it is. I guarantee you it is. And I will show you today just a handful of articles. Just a handful of what I could really find on the internet. I just printed out, I think, 6. I was going to do more, but I need more ink, and my printer just ran out. But just to really show skeptics and people the example that I'm not crazy, and I'm just coming at you with the facts here, with what's really been documented, mainstream news that's out there. You can just look it up yourself. Do your own research. Don't just depend on my word. It's not even my word. It's what I'm reiterating from white papers, from news articles that are modern and up to date. And even some that are older, even some that are 7, 8 years old. That I mean, this was happening years ago, even before that, when the Patriot Act happened after 9/11. This really set the entire surveillance state model upon us all the time. And it doesn't have to be just cameras or microphones. It's. I mean, from the TSA, the Homeland Security, everyone's a threat. Everyone's a security threat. And this is a way for Big Brother to make sure that we're all safe. We're all just going to be handy-dandy okay because Big Brother's constantly watching us and we don't need a gun and they'll protect us. Let me give an example. Today, actually, this one, okay, I'll start here. This one is from the 1st of July. Pretty much the beginning of July of this year. Employees at Amazon's Ring have been spying on customers. And this is from the New York Post. You can look that up yourself. About claims from an Intercept article. The Intercept has great stuff, by the way. I was going to print out something else also before I go on a tangent. That has a big monitor screen in New York, and I forget what it's called. I need to go back and look it up and find it. I was going to print it out, but I didn't have time to. Of just this big, massive block that's just constantly watching you. It can provide direction and everything is GPS tracked. It's crazy. And it's in New York City, downtown. Yes, the Ring is always spying, okay? It's always on. It's motion activated, but it's got to be sensing the motion monitors to really figure out where you are. And it's a live action spy. There's people that are watching this in real time that are really watching you constantly. It's crazy. And now police enforcement, this is what I wanted to get you. See, it ties into this. Amazon is working with local government, local law enforcement to ensure that there is, more criminal safety out there, more safety in your neighborhood by having an Amazon Ring installed in your home. And they're giving it out to customers. Let's see, they're doing a big trial. I know here in the United States they are too. In some local areas, they're trying a little beta test. You know what I mean? They're going to start small and work their way up. You got to slowly boil the pot here. This is out of the Sun, and it came out today. And this is on my Facebook page also if you want to read the entire article. How Amazon's video doorbell company is working with police forces to hand out thousands of its devices. It's been reported. Big Brother fears, private company working with federal law enforcement, local law enforcement. Amazon, let's be real. Amazon signed a, $600 million contract with the CIA a couple years ago. So they definitely work hand in hand with the Central Intelligence Agency and, of course, with the NSA, as Facebook is a big front to that, to honestly spy on everybody. Silicon Valley is really trying to be, the government's going to use Silicon Valley as their way to wedge themselves in between your home, your loved ones, your family, your friends, everything. They want to know everything you're doing. They want to get eyes on the advertisements too. That's why the Internet of Things with fridges, with how, you could just click on an ad and then instantaneously so many more come up that's trying to get you to buy stuff, and they think, oh, that worked. Wow. They're going to see that your fridge is going to pretty much detect like when you're out of food, and so you're not on TV, and see which one works, and so you can go get a food or beverage at the grocery store and be like, wow, we tracked that, it's working. They can track you on your card, RFID chips, everything. And this is absolutely real. It's in Google's own terms of service pretty much with certain devices. They've been doing this for a very long time. Google's very smart. Google found a way to be the bug that everyone wants. And it's funny because a lot of people realize it. A lot of people realize that these devices really are bugs. They're spying constantly. People don't care. They're like, oh, well, Google can just, have whatever they want. I don't care if they're watching my porn, watching this, watching what I do on, YouTube, watching what I'm looking up. It doesn't matter. They don't really care. YouTube's such a huge, massive company anyway. That, that they're constant. That's a Google company itself. That's insane. These things are monsters, and it's all a way to get us into the digital technocracy that's yet to come. And that is a guaranteed fact. That is happening. It's happening all over the place, and they're being so discreet about it. So discreet. To the point where you don't even know that you're being spied on half the time. WikiLeaks, 2 years ago, dropped the famous Vault 7 emails that pretty much showed how there's fake offs where your TV's never really off, especially depending on what kind of TV and type model you have. All those new modern TVs, HD, 4,000 pixels or whatever, ultra high definition TVs, is really nice TVs that are constantly listening and watching you, especially the ones that, have voice activated things on them. These things are always on. Amazon's always on. Echo. There was one, honestly, it's kind of one of my first times hearing about this. I don't have any of these gadgets in my house, and I never will, okay? Never will. I've seen it even in a place I work. Amazon's got the Alexa there. I don't mess with that stuff. I just know it's too huge. And they'd say that they don't put it in a cloud basis to, they're not going to really hold your data, but of course they do. They even admit that they do temporarily. I believe in one of the articles I printed out, they said that. I'm not going to read the whole damn thing. But it did say that it really does hold data temporarily in the cloud, and they give it back to you. But, I don't know. I don't tend to believe Google just because they use that for profiting statuses. Google's a genius. Google is a genius organization, but it's evil. It's evil genius. It's too in your face. They found a way for free, by the way. You're not paying for any of their services to answer all your questions, answer all your desires, pretty much replacing the parent, asking the parents the questions with Google, with the state, basically, which is the CIA NSA front. Oh, yes. DARPA was created by The internet was created by DARPA. That's what I was going to say. Not Al Gore. DARPA made the internet. That's a fact. And so now that we have an intelligence wing, technological intelligence wing of the military, of the Pentagon making the internet, of course we're going to have definitely some government infiltration within a lot of the www. And Google's taken a huge advantage of that. Now it's all part of who we are. iPhones still leave an artist safe. This one had a CNET today. I think this one came out today because I got so many articles that came out from years ago, from today to a few months ago, what have you. Yes, this one did come out today. Google's got a new face tracking camera. This is also on my Facebook, by the way, for your home. And we've got questions. CNET article headline. I've got a lot of questions. A lot of people are really enjoying the facial recognition features on their iPhones. And on that Google can provide for their equipment, their hardware. What was the big thing? Not Snapchat. It was the filter that makes you look old. A few weeks ago, a month ago, whatever. That was a big fad. People were doing that. Now I really don't see it anymore. I mean, it's amazing how these trends just come and go. But see, these people know that these trends are going to come and go. They know that people are going to use them. And they're not really going to think of the facial recognition aspect that comes with it. Basically, everyone's face that has a smartphone especially, or in front of some kind of high surveillance camera, even out in the streets, is in a database. It is. The NSA is so huge. I mean, let alone the one in Utah is so big that, it can store probably hundreds of thousands of terabytes in that. Just ridiculous numbers of things and video that they can access in real time, anytime they want. Photographs, anything. It's absolutely real. You're not safe on the streets or in your car. Your car spying on you. I've got an article years ago that came out 8 years ago about OnStar. I remember reading this a few years ago. OnStar spying on you with GPS tracking surveillance. These cars are hackable. The key fobs are hackable. All these digital cars that are very electronic, that like Teslas. Things like that. These things are hackable. Airplanes are hackable. Airliners, 757s have been proven to be hackable, which makes the 767 hackable because it's pretty much a model copy of the 75 with its cockpit configuration. They're all very prone to easy hacking. These new planes now, I think, are a little more, immune to it, but still, nonetheless, it can be possible. Everyone thinks that iPhones can't be hacked, but of course they can. Now, see, the question is why it's happening. Why is this becoming such a growing trend? The surveillance state, the police state, with the surveillance state. You see what I mean? It'd be one thing if you had your own camera system set up to where it's closed in, it's closed caption. It's only inside your house, only you can view it, and you can hand it over to law enforcement if they so desire, if you so desire. Until they get a warrant. However, these things are pretty much warrantless, almost no due process type styles, where they have full. The fact that the police department can give you Amazon rings to your door, that's easy access to your house. The government, the NSA, the top deep state level wants to know everything that's going on with your smart meter in your house, to track everything you do in your home, from the temperature to you walking in and out to knowing your routine. These things are voice activated. A lot of it's voice activated. I tell you what. Personal example, my brother is a pretty tech savvy dude. He's very good with software, very good with creating things. He knows that these things spy on you, but he has a system called Cortana. I believe my computer actually does too. Cortana. I've never heard of it until a few years ago, and I was like, what in the world's Cortana? I know Siri. I know the Hey Google activation, but Cortana, I was like, what in the world's this? That is huge as well. And it's constantly, this thing has to be sweeping constantly to hear you. That means it's always on, right? How voice activated to hear that? Of course it's always on. Motion activated, of course the thing is always on standby. It's always on standby. Standby is a huge thing. That's where Vault 7 came in, with everything being fake off, on standby, just always there, listening, hearing, watching. And it's on record. WikiLeaks has never been wrong. And these are very classified things that came out. Thank God they did, though. We need to know. We need to know that our Fourth Amendment right is definitely being violated, almost the worst. Honestly, worse than our Second Amendment and First Amendment combined. The Fourth Amendment's huge. Once you can get inside the house, you can take care. You infiltrate from within. You take things from within. You take over from within. It's so serious, and I can't stress enough to people that don't care about it. I don't know. I'm a huge critic of this. The drones, police departments using drones to catch people. I mean, this is eyes in the sky, eyes in your house where you don't need it. That's your privacy. You pay for your privacy. You work your ass off to have your own place, your own things, own property. And then you have a big brother government that you don't trust, but then you trust enough to have it's pretty much spy devices like Echoes and everything Amazon and Google can provide. Like, what's this called? The Nest Hub. Nest Hub Max. They were bitching about how, pretty much in the article, they're pretty much bitching about how there's no shutter screen. And that's a big deal. There's no shutter on the cameras. I don't care if that switch can turn it off. What did I just say seconds ago? Minute ago? About the fake golf, the Vault 7. Look that up. Look up Vault 7 and just look at the graphics. Look at what they say about it. Nothing's really ever off. It's like sleep mode. You know what I mean? It's like when you put your laptop or something in sleep mode. That's kind of the situation it's in. That camera's always running. Snowden exposed. This is all not a conspiracy theory. And I hate when people call it that. It's just so they think you're so stupid to think that it's like when they say cloud seeding is a conspiracy theory. When Russia admitted that they did it for a parade 2 years ago. I mean that's just one example. There's documented cases of things like this. This is very well documented stuff. I wish I could just run through. I want to go through the rest of the news kind of today. I feel like honestly I'm probably not gonna be able to, just because I have so much of the surveillance stuff. This is such a big deal. And it's working with internet providers. Internet providers, IP addresses are always tracked. And of course, social media. Social media is a huge thing. Trends now, I'll say this over and over again. I know I've said it before, but trends are so frequently popping up and down. How do you think this all happened so quickly? Trends used to last for a little long, the 20s said the trend, 30s said the trend, 40s said the trend, 50s, it keeps going for the decades. Trends are just happening so quick. And how do you think that's possible? Because you keep giving information. You keep providing the trends. Excuse me, whether they're dumb or not. Whether it's right or not. And it's all the time. I already told you how OnStar's watching you. Your car can be traced and tracked. I keep a dumb car on purpose. I do not want one of these 2019, like brand new, Mercedes, brand new Beamers, brand new, Jeep, stuff like that. Like I don't trust it. I don't trust it. There's too much space junk and GPS configuration satellites are geosynchronized. I don't trust it. I don't want my car to be hacked. For example, the guy that interviewed Snowden. Oh my God, his name's blanking on me. But anyway, how, just look up, he was for The Guardian. The last guy that interviewed Snowden. The one that had his car pretty much explode with the Mercedes engine coming out. A brand new Mercedes engine, it was like a few years ago. Right after Snowden in 2014 era. That guy was killed. Clearly a sabotage. That's insane. And I don't want any risk associated. I know I'm small, it doesn't matter. But at the same time, I do not want to associate myself with the risk of my car potentially being hacked. Why would anyone want to risk themselves with such an awful dilemma? Can you imagine? Your brake's not working because it's hacked. Not because you ran out of brake fluid, which takes forever to do. Or your accelerator. I do not want it. If OnStar, if OnStar is scary enough, imagine the technology we have to hack these things. Bad actors trying to do this stuff. You've got to be crazy not to think this isn't real. It is real. I'm actually telling you this. Let me tell you something. This came out September 27th, 2011. New York Daily News. Car drivers beware, OnStar is watching you. That's not the only headline I could find. I could have printed out 5 more just to have. And I keep all these on record. Keep all of them on record. The roads are definitely getting pretty sophisticated with how they spy on you also. That's going to be eventually more internet integrated and, and electrified and digitized. It's going to get more sophisticated to the point where it's unrecognizable to I mean, it's going to be slow, though. You know what I mean? It's going to be slow. It's a slow, gradual process. I grew up in Charlotte, North Carolina, okay? As a kid, I didn't really know much about this. But then, after high school, I started noticing my best friend and I, best example, we started noticing, I'd go to his house for years, all throughout middle school, high school. And we saw a camera that was installed right there in the corner of his cul-de-sac. Now it's a road. It's a big highway. When you pull into the right, it's just one straight road to cul-de-sac. It's pretty short. But see, on that corner where you pull into the right to get into his neighborhood, that camera was new. That was a brand new thing. I remember we just walked over one night, just walking around, and we saw this camera. We're like, what in the world? That hasn't been there. Next thing you know, more start popping up. Just out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. The trees, the fake trees on the highways. I don't know if Charlotte's the only city that's done this, but I know for a fact it's spreading. I've seen it in areas of Charlotte that are just crazy. Charlotte is a New World Order city, and it's getting 5G ready also. I mean, that's a whole different topic. I went to go visit my mom the other day. I saw 5G towers all over the place. They're starting to pop up. It's everywhere. I'm like, my sister's school, it's so funny. There's been so many other instances where kids in front of schools are getting cancer rates out the ass. And a lot of parents, a lot of staff, a lot of professionals are experts starting to question, hey, maybe it's the goddamn cell phone towers sitting in front of my kid's school. Why are cancer rates just skyrocketing with microwaves and radiation going everywhere? I mean, let alone if the surveillance hazard isn't enough, it's the physical health hazards, the mental hazards, frying your tissue, man. I'm sure brain cells are definitely going also. I can't live in these mega areas where I know the air quality is awful. Your water's fluoridated like crazy. You're in a huge surveillance state. Urban areas like that are the first to go. Urban areas are the first one, or the trials. Downtown Charlotte, downtown Miami, downtown Atlanta probably, downtown LA for sure. New York City, I already gave you an example. Just one. England has the biggest surveillance state in the world. China's pretty damn close to it, if not right there at it. China's using the model, the social credit scores. Everything's, you've seen, there's footage of people walking across the street in China, and they're just, they're jaywalking. It's like, oh wait, there goes some points, and they get you on camera in a big jumbotron in front of everybody to shame you in front of the entire crowd in Chinese cities, Beijing, Shanghai, maybe Hong Kong. Hong Kong needs its own liberation. It needs to just get out. It's gonna drive me crazy. And then we have these little pocket devices. These cameras are always watching. You're never really private. They can hear you. These microphones, Facebook got heat a long time ago. Not that long ago. For having their microphones constantly on. And Zuckerberg's been in front of Congress so many times. Tech heads have been in front of Congress so many times. There's been so many congressional hearings over this. And Congress is honestly laxative on it. They're so lax about this. Congress needs to get their shit in gear. We need... Big tech is such a big deal when it comes to destroying our Bill of Rights that we have to have people at this point, this next generation, as congressmen slowly get older, slowly retire, and eventually die, we have to have another generation. The millennial generation is going to have to do something, but we're so stupid and guinea pigged and sluggish like that. It's like, do we really have what it takes? Do you think Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is really the one that's really going to... are we going to really have that represent us for the rest of our lives? Is that 29-year-old stupid 30-year-old numbnut in Congress going to be the one to really lead the... Oh, my God. Just drives me batty. Why is there no? Why? I mean, if I was in Congress right now, I would have Google execs, Facebook execs, constantly, Amazon. I mean, get Bezos up there, man. But no, he's got too much freaking power. He's the richest man in the world. Zuckerberg's pretty damn close behind him. You think we're gonna have Bezos come over there and? Congress is such a joke today. It's such a joke. What are we leaving? Digital footprints. Now Elon Musk. See, I used to like him. Now I'm kind of turning on the guy. I'm like, what the hell, dude? The Neuralink stuff, man. Implanting into your brain so we can fight AI. I understand. I'm going to be a realist about something real quick. I understand that we are going towards a technological advancement that humanity has never seen before. I understand that. It's all around us, and I get it. It's exciting. At the same time, it's not. At the same time, it's terrifying. How can we be such a victim to this? I mean, we're doing it the wrong way. Absolutely we are. And we're starting with social media. Social media is really the big giantess that is pushing this entire program. Look at kids these days, man. Look at them. They're stuck to their phones. You're almost better off just gluing it permanently and having an erect arm, getting rid of their arm, making a robotic arm and having it erect in front of their face and walk around with the rest of their lives with it when they go to sleep, and then just have their thumb click it off when they pass out, if they can even do that. It is so bad to the point where people's attention spans are literally slim to none. They can't focus anything. I mean, they can't have a full conversation about anything. It blows my mind. And it, just makes me nuts. Like how people just can't pay attention to anything you say anymore. You try talking to someone, like ask them a question, they're just buried. I mean, I see some people that are just buried into these things. Buried into stupidity. Okay, some memes are good, but honestly, like I've noticed something too. Like, I don't know if it's just me, but people's humor rate have gone so low. People think the dumbest things are funny. Whatever happened to real humor? Honestly, I like some 70s corny humor. At least it's good classic funniness, but this stuff is just stupid. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I'm sorry, but I've heard other opinions that, kind of verify that I'm not really alone in my thinking here. Not really alone. I could go on a tangent about that, but I'm not. I don't want to make this podcast too long. I just kind of want to just kind of give people, real skeptics, some pretty inside baseball about, some articles they can go read for themselves. Look at this. This is crazy too. DA and ICE are hiding surveillance cameras in streetlights and in cones. That's right, traffic cones right along the side of your freaking highway. Right there. We already know they're in streetlights or in red lights. You ever look and you see the flashing camera constantly? In Alabama, they have those big time. Going into Birmingham off 280. If you're ever in Alabama and on that highway, just you can see that going up Double Oak Mountain. There's a big, they have strobe camera lights that are just constantly flashing. So if you skip, and then they catch you. Honestly, those things, I saw a statistic not too long ago of how little they actually catch people compared to actually people that drive through it and never have a problem. And we're not talking through the red light. I mean, I'm talking like through the green light. They hardly ever. I mean, it's so small compared to what. I mean, it's designed to catch people that run red lights. But see, so many slim people actually run red lights. God, that it does like a fraction of what it's supposed to do. Obviously, it's a surveillance thing. They can see you inside your. I mean, they obviously have facial recognition. I mean, this is so technologically advanced. Thank God Hong Kong brought down the big camera. That was part of their protest and the riot. They brought that down. I mean, hey, they're doing something about their surveillance state. What are we doing? New police radars could see inside homes. Guess what? Funny thing, the DEA and ICE, I have this on my Facebook too, I believe. The traffic cones spying on you came out last year in November. This one, new police radars can see inside homes. This one came out 2015. It's radar. It's insane. It's very sophisticated. You can see where you are. It's thermal. And we're just letting it all slide by. It's cool, man. They're just doing it for our protection, dude. That's all they want. They just want to help us out and protect us, my dude. Man, don't bash the cops too much. Hey, I'm not a big cop basher, okay? I respect what they do, and a lot of those guys are really good. I know great cops. Okay, so I'm not going to sit here and bash cops. I know a lot of them love their job, love what they do, and really try and help people. But I'll be damned if I'm going to sit here and not really hold it, their feet to the fire when it comes to shit like this. I don't want some cop to sit outside of my damn house, point his radar at me, and see inside my house, man. Why would anyone see, if you're going to get pissed about that, why can't you get pissed about these little surveillance systems in your house that are constantly listening and watching you? Get rid of your Alexa. Don't use Siri. These things are all tracking your voice so they can recognize you as the algorithms get more sophisticated and AI approaches. It's all happening at once and very quickly, very quickly. Pretty terrifying stuff here. Now, this is only just an example. I just wanted to run through some things. I'm not going to make this too long. Just to make it really aware to people and critics about how big the surveillance state is. And I'm barely scratching the surface. There's things out there that are just insane with military and geosynchronized satellites out there that are constantly watching that can, zoom in and file and find this is years ago technology too. They could find what you're reading from dozens of miles above space. Insane stuff. It just gets crazy. Please look into all this stuff. Don't just take my word. Although I had the articles here, just please look into this for yourself and figure it out for yourself, because this is real, and we've got to keep Congress's feet to the fire and protect our rights, man. They're there we've elected them for a reason. They're representing us for a reason. Protect our health, protect our privacy, and protect our Bill of Rights, protect our Constitution, everything that we made 200 plus years ago to make this the freest country in the world. And we're losing that freedom every single day. We do nothing. We don't tell our neighbor. We don't talk about it. Every day. So guys, have a good rest of the week. I might do another podcast sometime. If not, I'll do one this weekend probably. Website's making some progress. Facebook is still up and running. YouTube's doing pretty okay, I guess. Censorship's still alive and real. They probably track all my shit, so it's cool. But yeah, like, subscribe, follow the Justin Comer Show on Facebook, the Oversight on Facebook, and the Justin Comer Show here on YouTube. Obviously, where you're probably listening to this. And always spread the word. Always be liberty-loving people, and do it peacefully. Be as peaceful as you can. Let them throw the real first punches, because we cannot be the ones to do this. Okay, this is the people versus the elitist, and now it's left versus right. It's getting crazy out there. So be safe and spread the word as cautiously as you can. Godspeed.